Afternoon guys, today's video we're going to be planting garlic, but before we can get into that I've got to clear these beds of these old sunflowers which got way too big for their supports. However, what I probably am going to do, because I don't think I'm going to use the whole bed, is I will leave probably this upright one just for looks. I don't know how I don't notice these things, but there was a frog in the bed with me the whole time. I'm not sure if maybe I dug him up. Now, once the crikey, that frog's going to give me a heart attack in a minute, I'm sure he is. Once the bed's clear, the next thing you want to do is sort of mulch. Garlic, do like a fertile soil, so you do want to make sure, that's it frog, move on your way. You do want to make sure that, somewhat level and, oh, I don't want Wilson eating the frog. Could be a problem. Now's your chance, mate. So I got half a bag of sort of old compost here. I'm just going to dump down and spread out. Break up some of these clumps. This is actually pretty good, this bed, because it's been topped up with mostly topsoil, and then this summer it had a sort of, I don't know, a layer of compost put on. So I'm pretty confident that this is going to be all right for growing garlic in, even though it has had some squashes, which are quite heavy feeders, and it has had the sunflowers in as well. Sunflowers, actually, not a lot of you might know this, sunflowers are quite good to grow in quite bad soil, because what they do is their roots take up a lot of the sort of toxins and things that are in the soil and store them in the roots. So you probably saw when I was digging it up, I actually removed most of the roots, which I don't normally do, but one, the roots were massive and probably going to interfere with the garlic growth if I left them in, but also get rid of those toxins that have been stored in the roots. Right, once your bed's prepared, you're sort of ready to start planting the garlic. And the only thing to remember with garlic is they need the cold spell. So most people plant their garlic in autumn. Now I've got a couple of varieties to choose from here, including an experiment. So it is an experiment, and we will have to wait until June, July to see how this experiment plays out. So if you want to see how it plays out, don't forget to subscribe. First on the list is elephant garlic. So again, I bought these off Simply Seed. Tell you guys how much I paid for some elephant garlic. Oh, it's not on the delivery note. It was like £2 or something. And I've got one absolute massive clove, pretty much the size of a bulb, honestly. And then I've got a much more normal elephant garlic size clove. So I'm going to plant these. Going to plant these quite deep, about as deep as they are sort of tall, and then another lot. But also with these, because they're so big, they need like 8 months before you'll get your harvest. It's a really long sort of time it takes for these guys to grow, but you will get the massive, big, size of your hand kind of bulbs. Hopefully, we'll see. So that's one sort of experiment. Never grown it before. The next one, nothing too crazy, is a variety of garlic. Again, I bought from Simply Seed called Solent Wight. So this is, I'm hoping this is going to be the safe bet. I'll break it apart, show you all the different cloves all sort of close up in a minute. But I'm hoping this is just going to be a pretty normal, standard garlic, and will give me some good results. Now, this is where the experiment comes in. I haven't actually got much garlic to plant here, and you can get quite a lot in a small space. You want to plant bulbs about 6 inches apart. And if you sort of stagger your rows, you can get like a lot in a really small space. That's one of the reasons I quite like growing garlic, because you can pretty much almost be self-sufficient in garlic if you're kind of clever with it. Now, these bulbs here, these 3, each of these cost me 39p from Asda. I'm not sure if they're organically grown. I'm not sure if they're going to grow at all, but we're going to plant them and see. I did this last year, before I sort of started making sort of YouTube videos, and I had quite good success with store-bought garlic. And bearing in mind, I paid £2.50 for this bulb, this seed one, and I paid 39p for this one. So potentially, if this works, it's a really cheap way to grow garlic. The trouble with buying it from the supermarket, you don't know how it's been treated. This could have been, I don't know, heat treated or smoked or something like that, in which case this probably won't grow very well, or it won't grow at all. I also don't know what variety this is. I know, well, I actually did read that this is actually imported from China. So chances are it's growing in maybe some greenhouse in China. And I'm not sure that's going to be suitable for the UK climate here, but we're going to see. And I had good results last year. So, yeah, we'll sort of get into this. Before we get into planting, I'll just do some close-ups. So these two are my elephant garlics. Now this is just one clove. I have checked. This is one clove of elephant garlic. It's insane. The other one is a bit more what I was expecting, which if I compare it to like a normal clove of garlic, you can see how much bigger it is. But yeah, this one looks fine. There is a crack on here, so worried about that. I'm not sure what will happen, but we will see. We're going to plant them anyway and see. Now, that's what I got for my £2.50 of elephant garlic. Just 2 cloves, 2 plants, hopefully 2 really big bulbs. Now here, as you can see, if I turn the camera around as well, you'll see I've got a number of cloves from my £2.50 bulb of Solent Wight Garlic. So I've sort of organised them in size. So I've got 4 big cloves, a bunch of medium ones, and a bunch of small ones. The reason I've done it like this is because the size of the clove will determine the size of the bulb. So these ones will produce bigger bulbs than these ones. These middle ones we will have to see. So in terms of planting, it's as simple as a lot of planting. You need to dig a hole that's deep enough for the bulbs. With these ones, it is quite deep. It's going to be pretty deep. And you want to make sure the soil's weed-free and healthy and organic. Drop it in. The basal plate of the bulb needs to be facing down, and the pointy bit needs to be facing up. That's pretty much all there really is to it with garlic. Pop him in, bury him over, try to remember where you planted them. And then with elephant garlic, it's a bit different. I've got to sort of plant about 10 inches apart, and I know the blade of my trowel is 6, so if I add another bit on, probably put him in here. Okay, cover him up. Cool. That's those 2 planted. That's the elephant garlic done. With these ones, don't have to plant them as deep, the Solent Wight Garlic, and I can also space them about 6 inches apart. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to sort of measure about 6 inches away from where I just planted that one. Probably going to go a little bit closer to the wood, dig a hole, about the right deep, grab one of the big ones, pop them in, bury them over, measure them 6 inches, about that, about that. Now, the method for maximizing your space while keeping the planting distances right is where basically you offset it so that the width between your rows isn't quite 6 inches. So traditionally, if I've got a bulb here where my spade is left to mark it, I would do 6 inches, I'd plant one here, do 6 inches that way, plant one there, and you'd get a nice neat grid. But that means there is 6 inches between here, and between, say, this one and that one, there is more than 6 inches. There is a bigger gap there. So what you can do is, at a 45-degree angle roughly, measure your 6 inches there. That will then mean that the bulb you plant here is 6 inches from that one and 6 inches from that one. But the row here will only be about 4 or 5 inches between the rows. So you generally get the same amount in this case, about 5 cloves, but I'm then getting more rows in. So that's one way you can maximize the space you're using to hopefully achieve those goals of garlic self-sufficiency. Right guys, I really hope you enjoyed that video. growing garlic's really easy. Pretty much nothing I've really got to do except keep it kind of watered every now and again if it was really dry, and I should be able to harvest in June. So don't forget to like and subscribe. Come back in June and we'll harvest those, and we'll see you know, what sort of harvest we get. But what I will do, again, for those of you subscribing to the channel and watching my videos, is I'll do an update on the garlic to see if the supermarket variety actually started to grow. We'll hopefully see shoots in maybe four weeks or so. So yeah, hopefully that'll be really exciting. Don't forget, if you like these videos, do subscribe. See you soon for more videos.